whistle, we can signal with that, and the light, and that's the wind up torch. Staying on the signalling thing, you've probably all seen these. These are the signalling mirrors you get for during the day. Simply point at the sun, it's got the hole and that in there, and there's also instructions on the back to how to use. You've probably all seen them, so I won't cover too much about that. Next up, I have a couple of snares. Again, should we find ourselves in that situation, we want to get a couple of snares out as soon as possible. I won't go too much into snares. All I would say is practice makes perfect, but to practice this you must gain the landowner's permission. We don't want to be tramping around people's lands setting snares. It's not a good image for us all, and if we can get landowners' permission, I'm sure they'll only be too happy to let you come on and try and catch a few of their rabbits. What else do we have in here? We can do this. I have an OXO cube in here. This is a bit debatable whether or not we actually need this in there, but we all have supermarket diets these days, so if you find yourself in a situation where all of a sudden you're going to have to start eating plants and roots and meat that you're not accustomed to, it's going to put you in a little bit of a downer. So this is a little bit of a morale booster. You can simply use what you've got and cook it up like a stew, and it's sort of more palatable, let's say, than what it would be otherwise. The downside of carrying one of these is they tend to spoil very quickly, so if you are going to carry one, you have to check your kit regular and make sure that the one you've got in there is good to go. Next, I have just a few plasters and antiseptic wipes. I have them, always carry them just for a little nix. I also have some of these blister kits. You get the show ones or the Compeed ones, they're both as good as each other. And again, should we not be found in the initial 72 hours, then we're going to have to walk out of there. And this is where possibly you could get a blister on your foot, etc. So again, I have a needle here which can help drain the blister. Once that's done, we can patch it up, tape it up, put a plaster on it, and hopefully that'll save us some discomfort. The last thing we want to do is having to walk for a good few days with feet covered in blisters, so they can help. Fishing hooks I have here in a small bottle. If you can see, and inside there's also some weights and things to put them down, and this works in connection with fishing line. Now there's probably about 20 or 30 metres of fishing line just on that little reel there. I tend to favour the small fishing hooks, because with small fishing hooks we can catch both small fish and large fish. If you go for the large fishing hooks, then the chances are you're not going to get small fish on them, and it's the small fish that seem to be in abundance. So I always go for the small fishing hooks. I also have in one of those bottles some potassium permanganate. I won't cover that because you could probably do a whole DVD just about the things you can do with this anyway, but probably in that little bottle there's probably enough to treat 500 or 600 litres of water. Simply put in a tiny little bit and leave it for probably say 20 minutes. The colder it is, the longer you would leave it, and that it will basically kill most of the things in the water. So it's making your water safe. It's a good bit of kit. It can also be used for fire lighting. It can also be used as an antiseptic. Simply drop a little bit more in till you get a more of a purpley pink colour, and that's a good antiseptic wipe for any stings or things that you might get. I have a couple of bits of inner tube in here, and they can just help with the fire lighting. I also have a small pack of Puree tabs. Again, after the initial sort of 72 hours, if we have to walk out of the situation, perhaps the Premack filters, you've used the 50 litres for one reason or another, and this is just kind of buying us another day if need be. I also have a small bag here. There's a reel of thread in there with some safety pins, and also in the small bag there is a little salt sachet. Now, salt is essential for water retention. However, if you've not got much water and you don't have much food, then it's best to stay away from the salt, full stop. Along with that, I carry needles in there. Preferably, if you are going to carry needles, carry ones with a larger eye, and this gives us the ability to potentially use it with some of the fishing line to make bigger repairs. What else have we got? There's a small cable tie thing, I'll explain that in a little bit. Pack of surgical blades, I think there's about 5 in there, always handy to have, really good for, can help you skinning, etc. So they're always handy to carry, you'll always find a need for them. Now, I have a small button compass here. I have another compass in the pack and I'll show you that in a minute, but it's always good to have a small button compass. If you do have one of these in your survival kit, then it's worthwhile checking it every now and again just for bubbles. Bearing in mind that you've maybe got it in a tin, it's going to be next to fishing hooks and snares or lights or tins or whatever else is in your survival kit, which can kind of throw them off a little bit. And at the time you're going to need it, you're going to take it out of the tin or the pouch or whatever, and there's maybe going to be a bubble in it and you're going to question its accuracy. So again, it's good as a backup. If you carry a tin, that's all you can have, so you might as well have it. Okay, now in the main compartment of the pouch, I have a plastic bag, and again with the plastic bag we can use this in several ways to collect water. We can simply put that over a branch, we can secure it, again that's what the cable tie is for, we can secure it up, drop a little stone in the bottom, and what's going to happen there is that the sun's going to evaporate all the moisture in the leaves etc. from the tree. It'll turn to condensation on the bag and it'll run down into the bottom. So, you know, you can put this up on a tree or something, go away for the day, setting your snares, doing a bit of fishing, etc. And hopefully when you come back, there's going to be a bit of water in the bottom of the bag. So it's worth having. And again, we can use this in other ways to possibly divert the flow of water down into this bag and help capture rainwater as well. I also carry a mosquito head net. These are a fantastic bit of kit to have. In this country, in Scotland, the midges is going to drive you mad. Again,